Hello everyone, and welcome back to Revit Snippets. Great tips you can learn in just a few minutes.
This video is sponsored by Tagitize, the easiest way to run Tag All on multiple Revit views and sheets. Also, say goodbye to overlapping tags. Tagitize will turn this into this. Try Tagitize completely for free using the link in this video's description. Let's see today how to easily report and schedule the coordinates of foundation corners, which are setting out points in my model here. I have already added setting out points to my foundations. These are also updated in real time. If you look into the properties panel for this foundation, you will see the same X, Y, and Z coordinates of the 4 corner points, and they perfectly match the reported values from the spot coordinates in the view. If I now move this object in any direction, all these coordinate parameters will immediately update. What this means is my schedule for those coordinate values from these foundations will always be correct. I have created one right here. The schedule shows the X, Y, and Z coordinates of individual setting out points. In a real project, you also usually assign unique mark values to those coordinate markers, which I can also do right here. The important thing is, if I show this marker in the model and move it by any amount in any direction, the schedule will immediately show me the latest coordinates of the marker. You can see this happening in real time both in the schedule and in the undo stack of Revit. I can also include this coordinate information in the structural foundation schedule. Here I have added for each foundation a set of parameters to show the coordinates of all 4 setting out points. These have been placed at the foundation's corner points. If I now select this first row and highlight the elements in the model, I can move it freely and see the values in that row update in real time as well. So today, I'll show you how to set all of this up so that you can be confident that whatever changes are made to your model, your schedules of foundation corner points remain accurate and up to date. To begin, we need a Revit family for the coordination marker. Feel free to use your own if you already have one. I'll use this family here. If you want to use the same one, just use the link in the video description to download it. With that in place, let's now load this family into our Revit model. From this 3D view, I'll switch to the level 1, entry-level view where our foundation objects are visible. To place coordination markers, I'll start with the component command and make sure the family is selected for placement. As an example, let me place this marker 4 times at the 4 corners of this foundation. This is manual for now, but in a few minutes I'll show you how to do this automatically for all foundation objects in your Revit file. After placing the markers, let's isolate them in 3D along with the foundation so we can see them more clearly. Now, to get the coordinates of the markers, there are different methods. Some involve manual input, others require creating a Dynamo script. However, when it comes to reporting coordinates, the method we use must be precise and accurate 100% of the time. Because object coordinates are critical in construction, we cannot afford mistakes. For this reason, I prefer to use a plugin called RV Live Coordinates. If you don't have it, you can find a link in the video description to try it for free. We now need to give the plugin some instructions. 1. Select the category of the marker family, in this case, generic models. 2. Choose the coordinate system. Several options are available, but let's use shared coordinates, the most common choice. 3. Select the parameters to hold the X, Y, and Z values. At the moment, these parameters don't exist in my model, so I'll ask the plugin to create them. Simply click Add Parameters, select X, Y, and Z, and confirm. The plugin will add them automatically. With the parameters in place, I can open the plugin again and select them. For the element reference option, let's keep it simple. Choose insertion point. This means the plugin will report the coordinates of the family instance using its location point. Now, click OK and the plugin will detect and report the coordinates into the X, Y, and Z parameters. Even better, these values will always stay up to date. If I drag this marker around, you'll see the parameters automatically update. This ensures that whatever changes I or others make to the model, the coordinates will always remain correct. As I said earlier, we don't want to add markers manually to every foundation. Let me show you how to add them automatically. Before adding the markers, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Tagitize. With Tagitize, it's never been easier to tag multiple Revit categories at once using your favorite tagging styles. Say goodbye to spending countless hours untangling Revit tags. After running Digitize on this view, for example, all my tags are perfectly readable. None of them overlaps with their hosts or other elements in the view. If I think this tag, for example, can be placed better, I can just select it and click Next to tell Digitize to try the next possible tag position. Each time I click the button, Digitize moves the tag for me, and I can keep doing this until it gets to a tag position I like. There we go. That's much better. Try Digitize completely for free today using the link in this video's description. Let's now start adding the coordinate markers. 1. Select the foundation and edit its family. 2. Switch to a plan view inside the family. 3. Load the marker family into this foundation family. 4. Place the marker 4 times near the corners of the foundation. I've placed them slightly offset from the corners on purpose. Now I'll use the align command to constrain each marker. First, align the vertical reference plane of the marker with the nearest foundation reference plane. Then align the horizontal plane the same way. Repeat this for all 4 markers. This ensures that whenever the foundation size changes, the markers move to the updated corner positions. To prove this, let me quickly flex the width and height dimensions of the family. As you can see, whenever my dimension changes, those markers will immediately move to remain where the corners of the foundation are. However, right now all 4 markers are identical. If I use this family right away in the project, I would not be able to distinguish between the first corner, the second corner, the third, and the fourth. To fix this, I have already created in my family 4 different family types. They have been called corner 1, 2, 3, and 4. What I can do now is select each marker and change its type to be one of those 4 types. Once that is done, we can simply load this foundation family back into the model. As you can see, I have a lot more markers in the view now. This is because all the foundations have now had their markers generated, as you can see in this view. To report their coordinates, I can simply run RV live coordinates again. Because we already set up the plugin previously, I can just run it and it will update the coordinate values of all the markers. If I want to see those in a schedule, that's super easy to do as well. Let me just create a new schedule now for the generic modules category. For the parameters, I will just add the mark and the 3 x, y, and z coordinate parameters down here. We can now see all of them in one place. If I want to keep them with unique mark values, I can do that here as well. And if I want to see each one in 3D, I can just use highlights in model and let Revit find it in a good view for me. So this is usually good enough for most projects. However, sometimes a project may require the coordinates of foundation corners to be shown in the foundation schedule itself. For example, if I create a structural foundation schedule, sometimes the requirement is to see in here the x, y, and z coordinates of all the foundation corners. Luckily, we can do that as well. To begin, we need to add new parameters for the coordinates of individual corners. Let me go to Project Parameters now and add the first parameter called x1. This will hold the x-coordinate value of the first corner of our foundation objects. Similarly, I can also create y1 and z1. These will of course hold the y and z coordinates of the first corner in each foundation. We can then add those new parameters to the schedule, just like this. I would also apply a quick filter here to only show instances of the foundation family we edited earlier. For now, these are empty, so let's fill in those values automatically. Here's how we can do that. Let's open RV Live Coordinates again, and then duplicate the first row to create a second configuration. I would then disable the first row so it won't interfere with the second. For the second row, I can change the category here from generic models to structural foundations. For the x, y, and z parameters, we can now select the x1, y1, and z1 parameters that we just created. And finally, for element reference, let's change the value to nested coordinate marker family. The plugin will then ask me to specify the nested family by family name and type name. This is where we need to be precise, so let me return to the model quickly to get the exact names. Let's just select one of the markers, and we can see under Properties the family and type names together. Going back to RV Live Coordinates, I can now return to the Options screen and type in the nested family name and type name exactly as they appear in the background. With that done, let's save it and click on Apply. In the results window, we can see some foundation families don't have the marker nested inside, so these were skipped, which is fine. For the family that we added the marker to, it says here that the parameters have been updated successfully. When I check back in the schedule, all the coordinate parameters have been populated. As a bonus, these also update in real time. If I now put the plan view and the schedule view side by side, I can quickly demonstrate this. As you can see, whenever I move the foundation, the reported values for the first corner point immediately update to reflect the new position of the marker. I can now do the same for the other 3 corner points in the foundation. For example, for the second point, let's add 3 new parameters here. I'll call these x2, y2, and z2. This will hold the coordinate values of the second corner point in each foundation item. Once these have been added, I can return to RV Live coordinates and then duplicate the second row here to create a third. For this new row, we simply have to change the x, y, and z parameter names to x2, y2, and z2. Also, let's quickly click the Edit button here on this row and update the family type name to Corner 2. I can now click Apply, and the plugin will do all the hard work for me in a split second. To prove that it has worked, I can also add the new parameters to the schedule. You can see they have the correct values now. And just like before, if I move the foundation object in any way, these new parameters also update in real time. This is why I prefer using this plugin instead of a Dynamo script for this purpose, because with Dynamo, it's really hard, if not impossible, to enable this type of live update, especially when we don't have the Dynamo window open all the time. I can also do the same now to report the coordinates of the third and fourth corners of those foundations. However, the process is exactly the same. If you want to try that yourself, simply use the link in the video description to download RV Live coordinates as well as this model here for your test. Before you go, check out our sponsor, Taggetize. Save all your tagging styles in one place and tag one or several views or sheets at once. Also, say goodbye to overlapping tags. Simply review generated tags and make any final tweaks with the handy Tag Audit commands. Try Taggetize completely for free using the link in this video's description.
If you like this lesson and want more like this every single week, make sure to subscribe to this channel now. For now, have a good day and I'll see you in the next tutorial.